What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. As you can see, the title of this clip says AOC reveals why her own supporters picked Trump over Harris. But what you're gonna notice during this interview is that she actually doesn't reveal anything because she doesn't know why her constituents voted for Donald Trump in her own district. Reid doesn't know. She doesn't know. They try to explain it. I know. I'll tell you exactly why her constituents voted for Trump and her at the same time, but they don't know. But I'll tell you why I think here after they try to explain it, and then we'll get into my take on it. And of course, guys, before we get the clip rolling, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. I'm so grateful for all of the support so far. And of course, if you're brand new, consider hitting the subscribe button. Let's get it rolling.
All the confounding results in this past election, perhaps the strangest phenomenon was the surprising number of people who voted for Democrats down ballot and then checked off Donald Trump for president. That was the case in New York's 14th district. A number of voters cast their ballot for both Trump and one of the House's most progressive Democrats, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, better known as AOC. And while the Democratic Party is still reeling from the results, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is doing something a lot of the D.C. folks aren't doing, which is talking to social media and actually talking to voters to figure out why this happened.
If you voted for Donald Trump and me, or if you voted for Donald Trump and voted Democratic down ballot, I would really love to hear from you. This is not a place of judgment. I'm not gonna put your stuff on blast or anything like that or dunk on it. That's genuinely not the intent here. I actually want to learn from you. I want to hear what you were thinking, and I just want to hear from you.
Joining me now is the aforementioned Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. Okay, AOC, what'd they say?
I mean, there's a lot of different things that we saw. I think there's a lot of people. First of all, it's important to note that Democrats, oftentimes when we lose elections, we think that we lost people to Trump. And that is true in circumstances, but they don't look enough at the fact that we also lost people to the couch. Mm-hmm. We have two people that we're running against. So a lot of people say, this is why I voted for you and Trump. And some people say this is why I didn't vote or didn't vote top of the ticket.
Right. Skip the top of the ticket, which, by the way, there's been a lot of paranoia about the fact that Democrats were able to win statewide in some places while Kamala Harris lost. And I keep trying to tell people there are voters who go in and either just vote the top, Trump voters who will say, I just want Trump and don't care about Republicans, and the reverse, who say, I'm not voting top of the ticket, but I'll vote everybody else.
Right. And I think we saw some of that happen as well. But when it comes to people who split their ticket, I think a lot of people cited several different things. One is there is universal frustration in this country, much of it I actually think justified, that is raging at a political establishment that centers corporate interests, billionaires, and puts their needs ahead of the needs of working Americans. And we know that we can either channel this righteous rage, because there are people whose SNAP was cut off, their child tax credits were cut off, but they're seeing people like Elon Musk getting tax breaks and kissing up to Donald Trump in order to do so.
But they vote for, then why vote for Elon Musk and Donald Trump?
And I think that, of course, is the question.
It makes no sense.
She's an idiot. She's a freaking idiot. She's an idiot. She's trying to, she's basically trying to say, well, people voted for Donald Trump trying to vote against the establishment. That's what she's trying to say. They're trying to vote against corporate lobbyists and these prostitute politicians. That's what she's saying. And she's saying, well, they did that and voted for Donald Trump. And then she said, well, it doesn't make sense because Elon Musk is those people. No, he's not. He's not. Yeah, of course, Elon Musk is one of the richest men in the world, but he's a one-off. He's the exception to the rule. People are turned off by the Democrats because y'all are the party of elites. Y'all proved it throughout this whole election. Y'all paid for celebrities to give Kamala Harris endorsements, while on the other hand saying you're the party of the people. No, y'all's messaging was just horrible. It just didn't work. It didn't resonate.
to do with the fact that, and I think we're still in a process of going through the data. It's important to say that.
Yes.
And I actually think that it's important to say that the people who are rushing to say, let me give you my grand theory of what's going on right now.
The problem is you went too woke. Sorry, Kamala Harris was running with Liz Cheney at her side. She wasn't going quote unquote woke.
If we had an election on no.
So Liz Cheney is the example that Kamala Harris has as being more what? Moderate, more conservative? Are you serious? Come on now. Come on. Oh gosh, Liz Cheney doesn't even understand how much of a puppet that she is. Look how they're using her. It's not true. Just because you got endorsement from Liz Cheney and Adam Kissinger doesn't make you less woke.
November 5th and November 6th, you've got an answer.
Right.
Don't listen to those people.
I agreed.
Do not listen to those people.
Co-signed.
So I want to say that we should all have the humility of saying this is an ongoing learning process. However, there is something to be said about it doesn't matter that he's lying. He's saying that I'm fighting for you. In all of this debate that people are talking about with this woke thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's because we care about trans people, and that's why.
And by the way, only
backlash.
Donald Trump cared about trans people because he was the one running $130 million worth of ads. The Harris campaign said nothing about this issue.
That's right. That's right. And listen, the ads, it's not to even deny the fact that these ads were effective in certain areas. What I think people are paying too much attention to is the first half of that ad, which says Kamala Harris is for they, them. Everyone's focusing on that. They're not focusing on the second half of that ad, where he said, Donald Trump is for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Democrats very often in their messaging, they speak in terms and in concepts and not in the second person. I care about.
This is funny. Every time these Democrat politicians talk about the results of the election, including AOC and Eric Adams did it yesterday as well on The View, they say they, right? They, the Democrats, that party. They don't say we or us or I. Right? They want to distance themselves, it seems like. They never include themselves in that category of Democrats. She not one time say us or we or us as a party. She never said that. She said they.
You. And political races are not about one candidate versus another candidate. Too often it gets pigeonholed like that. It is a race to convince a person about who cares about you more.
Let me ask you this question.
Like, bro, that's the same thing. These people are so stupid, bro. You literally just said the same thing. You just reworded it. If they're competing on who's going to do the most for you, then they're competing against each other. It's one party after the other, or one candidate versus the other.
So we've been talking a lot about RFK Jr. My mind is a bit blown. I mean, we knew that Donald Trump would go wild. There's no constraints on him. He could just put all his friends in. But we're talking about RFK Jr. and the possibility of people pulling back on measles vaccines, on another pandemic happening. You're talking about Matt Gaetz. There's a 17-year-old girl out there terrified that all of her records, all of the witnesses against him in this case where she was trafficked could be in the hands of Matt Gaetz, and he could be the most powerful law enforcement official in the country in a case where the president of the United States is an adjudicated sexual abuser. If you're a sexual assault survivor, you're thinking, oh my God, this country is out to get me. They're out to get me and force me to have children by sexual assault. So the message to women has been insane, okay? And the people he's nominating are TV hosts, et cetera. Do you think the people who voted for him that you've talked to were expecting this?
No.
Or true mass deportation.
Genuinely,
yeah.
No. And it's heartbreaking, actually. It is heartbreaking. And people may want to take like a kind of vengeful stance about this, but it is genuinely heartbreaking. People need to understand that there are people, millions of people in this country, and I was one of them, where you are working 2-3 shifts a day to try to make ends meet. You're not reading the newspaper every morning with a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You're not. And it's not to say that people are uneducated or uninformed or anything like that. But like, this is real life. Yeah. This is real life. You got a baby on your hip and you've got 2-3 shifts to work in that day and you're just trying to make things work and you have such an overwhelm of information. And I actually think something that is different about this moment than I saw, whether it was 2020 or after 2016, is that almost like right the day after, people immediately said, were coming to me and saying, he's not actually going to do that, right? And it's important to say, people may often say, he said he was going to do this. It was right here on the campaign trail. If you actually listen to him, if you listen to Donald Trump's acceptance speech, when he talked about immigration, he talked about legal pathways first.
Yeah. He didn't say he was going to do.
He didn't lead with mass deportation.
Absolutely.
Bro, they don't know what they're talking about. So she brought her on here, right? Joy brought her on here to explain why her supporters picked Trump over Harris. Did we get an explanation? No, I don't think so. We didn't get an answer at all. But that wasn't why Joy Reid brought AOC on here. Joy Reid brought AOC on here so she could demonize Trump's cabinet picks. That's what it was for. She wanted to demonize RFK. She wanted to demonize Matt Gaetz and excuse me, and his defense secretary. That's what it was for. But before we get into the comment section, the reason that people voted for Donald Trump and also AOC is because the people in her district realized that they can vote for Donald Trump and get the economy that they wanted. They also can get a hold on this migrant situation that is directly affecting them in their city, and still vote for a Democrat who's more progressive socially and culturally as well, especially when it comes down to the abortion situation. Women has realized that they can vote for abortion if that's what they want, and also vote for Donald Trump at the same time. That's why people voted for Donald Trump and also AOC at the same time. They probably wanted to be a little bit more progressive when it comes down to women's rights, but they also wanted border security. They don't want, wars in different parts of the world. They probably wanted these migrants to leave their city, right? Because they're in New York, where it is a sanctuary city. So they probably wanted that to be taken care of. But they probably also, fell for the whole women's rights situation. But they got it right if that's what they were going for, right? If that's what you fell for, is that you want your women's rights, which really wasn't in effect at all, then you did the right thing. You voted for AOC, which is your state legislator, and then you voted for Donald Trump, who's going to handle the economy and the border and everything else. That's why they did that. But Joy Reid and AOC don't seem to understand that concept, that you can vote for both of those candidates and get exactly what you want. Anyway, let's read some of the comments. So somebody says, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Next comment says, if you have selfish, ignorant citizens, you're going to get selfish, ignorant leaders. George Carnell. Next comment says, sorry, my whole adult life voted blue, never again. Nice. Welcome to the right side of history. Somebody else says, critical thinking is totally missing. This just doesn't make sense. DT told us exactly what he was going to do. Yeah, that was the craziest thing that this woman just said. That we didn't believe that Donald Trump was going to do mass deportation. No, we believed it and we wanted it. We believed it and wanted it. Like, we're going to be upset if he doesn't do it. Like, what are you talking about? We're going to be upset that he didn't fulfill his promise of doing it. Not that we're scared that he's going to do it. I'm telling you, these people are so out of touch. So out of touch. Next comment says, America ate its own vomit. Next comment says, believe half of what you hear, half of what you see, and all of what you witness. 100% have a great day. Someone says, I don't buy that people were too busy with work to know what's going on. People are on the phones all the time. The news pops up on it. It's everywhere, all around us, all of the time. I worked 2 jobs in the summer and picked up extra shift the rest of the year, and I know what is going on. Exactly. AOC trying to make it seem like people were just ignorant. Next comment says, I live in Arizona. People voted for Trump, but not for Carrie Lake. So weird to me. Somebody says, when I saw AOC's video, I was really surprised and impressed that she wanted to listen. But after hearing her here and having read the comments on her video myself, she clearly didn't listen after all. Yeah. Somebody says, this is not an honest conversation. Until we can have an honest conversation, nothing will improve. That's exactly right. This was not an honest conversation. Both of the people that are on that table had two different agendas. This comment says, I like AOC. Wow, I don't know why, but that's disingenuous. I read all the responses she posted to her question. No one said that Democrats cared more about corporations. That's always been her stance. If you're going to go on TV and talk about why people split their tickets, why not give their real response? Next comment says, AOC talking and ain't answering nothing. That's right. That's right. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think. And let me know, what you think the ticket was split. Why do you think people voted for Kamala? For Trump and AOC at the same time? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thanks for being here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. And of course, if you're brand new, consider hitting the subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.